Of course, everybody knows that the better seasons before Total Drama went downhill was Island, Action, and World Tour. But to me personally, in this video is based on my personal opinion, I feel like Action was a season that actually fell flat. Hey guys, it's Lizandria X here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Total Drama. Action was a season that fell flat. In case you guys want to watch more videos of Total Drama and all my opinions based on it, I actually do have a Total Drama playlist video on my channel. And I'll definitely leave that video linked up here, I believe, but also it'll be down in the description below. So you guys just want to watch my playlist of everything dealing with Total Drama, let that be so. And sorry if y'all hear background noise again in this video. I'm sorry for the disclaimer. I really do need to invest in a mic, so if you want me to invest in a mic, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And enough with all that jibber jabber, and let's actually get into the actual video. If you also see me looking down or anything like that, I'm looking at my notes and making sure everything's okay. All right. I didn't like how the cast basically got cut in half, and some fan favorites weren't able to come back until season 3. And honestly, I feel like Action was also a season that felt very empty as well, because we missed also those other contestants from Island. Like, even though Noah was third out in Island, it would have been nice to see him to come back in season 2 so we can get more of his character and what we could have missed, because, you know, remember, he was third out. And something I would also like to mention as well is why in their contract that the 8 that didn't fall in the water, why couldn't they come back for season 2? But all of them competed for that initial $1 million in the special, the Total Times 4 Island episode. In the special, they all competed again for that $1 million. So why in their contracts it didn't say that all of them could come back? It's just only those who fell in the water. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. In Action, every other episode was an elimination episode, which means the other episodes were for the aftermath or reward challenges. And although I do want enough episodes to build that character arc and character development and good storylines and build that plot and the bond amongst the characters, we already knew these people, like from the previous season, and the setting was no longer on Island. If there was 14 characters or 14 contestants, and I'm not talking about the aftermath episodes, I'm actually going to talk about that a little more toward the end of the video. And if you take out a good chunk of the reward challenges, I feel like season 2 really should have only had maybe about 20 episodes. It's editing me. And I feel like as well, someone would probably like try to make the argument that if we didn't have those filler episodes, the season would feel rushed. I know people like to make that argument too, or they like Action so much because there's not that many characters and the season moves at a slower pace. And I feel like it should be a healthy balance between moving at a good pace but also not being too slow. Like, it should be that happy medium. And I feel like if you took out a lot of the reward challenges, and I'll mention it at the end of the video about the aftermath episodes, but if you take out a good chunk of the reward challenges, I think the season in the plot could really move properly. Because remember, in Total Drama Island, there's 26 episodes with 22 characters, so that leaves 4 open episodes. Remember, Brunch of Disgusting, it was only a reward challenge and it was Battle of the Sexes. Then that filler episode with, you know, Mr. Coconut in the special, right? And then I think that final challenge as well, where nobody actually got voted off. So it just, you know, so every episode somebody got voted off. Yes, it moved the season along, but it moved the season along at a nice pace. So I'm gonna get out of editing mode and y'all go back to my nice quality video. Because let's say this, characters like Lashana and Duncan, we knew them and I needed to see just enough of them. I didn't need to see too much of them. And Action allowed for us to see too much of them, and I didn't like that. Action had no villains whatsoever. Since Heather became so hated and she was practically alienated from everybody else and then became the anti-hero, the main antagonist for Action was Justin, which I actually already made a video about Justin, so make sure y'all go watch that as well. and Courtney. And I also made a derailment of Courtney video about a couple years ago, so I'll also leave that linked as well, so make sure y'all go watch that as well. But since I'm not gonna make a separate video about Courtney's villainy, I'm just gonna hold it here, and I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, is that the reason why Courtney became this quote-unquote villain was because she sued her way back into the show. So mainly, more so, her character became petty than I would say villainous. But honestly, she also was bitter too, because I mean, come on, Harold did tamper with the vote and get her voted out in season 1 of Island. So of course she's gonna be a little bit bitter. And when she couldn't even make it back into season 2 because she didn't fall in the water, she was upset. So yeah, of course she sued her way back into the show, but it's just more so the way she went about everything that just, it made her character fall apart. And once again, y'all gotta go watch that derailment of Courtney video I made a couple years ago, because it'll explain my emotions about Courtney, because she's one of my favorite characters that really got ruined, and I really do not appreciate that. But I digress. And Courtney, you know, she's also getting that special treatment, and Courtney's strategy was really to just win challenges. It wasn't necessarily to get anybody voted off, and also to gain immunity. She was also immunity heavy as well, and she was only thinking about herself in the process. And once the teams merged, you kind of have to think about yourself, because it's all or nothing now, because it's either you or not you. She just honestly became very unbearable because she sued her way back in the show. Something that Action tried to play, but I did not appreciate as well, is they tried to make Lashana a villain. When was Lashana ever a villain? Like, I just I mean, I get what they were trying to do when she like fake cried her way to the reward, but let me say this, all of them would have done the same thing. So I don't even understand why they try to hold her for that, when they literally would have done the same thing had they thought the same idea. So honestly, I don't like that they turned their backs on Lashana. The only person who didn't was Heather, and that was of course a part of her being an anti-hero. Again, sorry to intervene for the second time, but I know as well that when she went on that spa trip with LaShaniqua, her cousin, and then like later Beth had gotten her PDA, Courtney's PDA, and they watched all the footage back of what she was saying about them. It's crazy to think, because I know somewhere off camera, the way Lashana was talking about them, they probably talked about her like that too, or anybody else in the TDA cast, or even somebody from Total Drama Island. I don't know why they did that, and I don't know how that footage even got uploaded to the Total Drama website. No idea why. I can't even remember why it got uploaded to the website, but it did. So yeah, and I mean, I understand why they were mad, because all that stuff that she thought about them, they thought that Lashana liked them when she in fact necessarily really didn't. So I can understand them being mad at her, but I know they probably done talked all that talk behind her back too. So I digress. I think making Owen a mole was probably one of the most dumbest decisions that Action could have done, but I know production was behind this all, because if you haven't seen my overuse of Owen video, make sure y'all go check that out too. I'm just plugging all of my past Total Drama videos because it's connecting to this one. But I say in that video that Owen is a production favorite, which he is. And Owen actually got voted off earlier in the season when Courtney came back. Chris has said no one is allowed to vote off Courtney because of her, you know, legal thing with the show. And everybody decided to vote off Courtney. So Courtney's vote was the only one that counted, and it was against Owen. But once Owen left early in the season, he should have left, and he never should have came back. The part of the video that I actually dread the most is talking about Trent's derailment. Why do they have to do my boy Trent like that? In the special episode of Island, so the finale episode of Total Drama Island merging into season 2, a lot of characters actually started showing signs of their derailment, but Trent was not one of those characters. So it kind of came out of left field when he just became obsessed with Gwen and he started acting weird. It kind of came out of nowhere. And it really didn't kick in until it was announced that him and Gwen would be competing against each other in that season. And then he just started throwing challenges and once again being weird, when honestly they could have just left his character alone, and they could have did a way where now Gwen and Trent have to navigate the relationships on different teams, as opposed to just tarnishing his entire representation, write him off the show. He didn't get redeemed or nothing because he wasn't even in World Tour. So after his time on Action, that was his time on Action. I know someone out there may be thinking, but Action's my favorite season. I just don't appreciate you talking down about it. Hold on. I said it was a season that fell flat. I didn't say it was a season that wasn't good. So I actually have two pros or two positives that I actually do like about the season. And revisiting what I was talking about earlier, I actually like the Aftermath episodes. I actually enjoyed the Aftermath episodes because it allows extra insight on after the fact, and we also got to see characters that didn't make it into season 2. This really allowed characters to clear the air in certain things like LaShawna's feelings toward Harold. It also just allowed us to get a break from the actual show itself. We can also remember like past plots, and those past plots can finally come to a resolution. Another thing I also liked about this season was Lindsay. I really did like the character development of Lindsay for this season. She elevated from the dumb blonde to being ditzy. She would still have those dumb moments, don't get that twisted. This season allowed for Lindsay to honestly get her head in the game, and this gave us some fun moments as well. It was also nice to see her take charge even when her being in the leadership role wasn't okay. Like, she would just be a little crazy sometimes, I will admit, but you know, but that just showed growth in her character, because remember in season 1 she was under the authority of Heather. She was kind of forcefully put in Heather's one-sided, sorry y'all, this doorbell. She was kind of forced into Heather's one-sided alliance, so it felt refreshing to see Lindsay kind of come up from up out of that and just be her own person. But yeah, y'all, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have so many videos planned. I have 2 big videos that I'm actually working in the background for you guys. One video you guys actually probably will not see it until next year, but this video you guys will probably get it before the end of the year. So I'm really excited because it's a video that I've been working on since like June, but haven't really gotten around to it. But enough of all that jibber jabber. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, especially subscribe, and I hope that y'all have a great day. Bye.